Hospitality can be highly addictive and yes, very rewarding. So you're planning to buy or possibly start a cafe. Is a cafe the right business for you? Now in this video, I will talk about some of the things that you'll need to know to help you make that decision. Running a cafe can be great fun and highly rewarding, but it can also be exceptionally hard work. The hours can be long, the workload demanding, but face-to-face customer contact comes with many benefits that few other business sectors can manage. Now these benefits include immediate gratification and the positivity of good customer feedback, passionate staff who love the industry, and the wider community feel that only a cafe owner can fully appreciate. Let's just step back slightly and try and get a balanced view. Now, do you have the passion for food and hospitality? Are you that people person? In that case, you're likely to reap the benefits of owning a cafe. Now, that is not to say you must be all those things. Now, some owners choose not to work in their cafe, or they own multiple sites and they take on a kind of overreaching management role. Generally though, the majority of successful cafe and restaurant owners are hands-on, either in the kitchen or front of house. So first and foremost, and from a purely business perspective, hospitality is a cash business. Specifically, your customers pay for their goods at the counter or just before they leave. There are no debtors to chase or invoices to raise. If managed well, cash flow issues, well, they're few and far between, and you will have the luxury of paying suppliers within their terms. Now, this means you should always have cash in the bank. The reward and pleasure from good customer feedback, well, that can be quite addictive for both the owner and the staff. Nothing connects people like a shared passion for really good food and coffee. There is a thrill and excitement in talking to customers about your food, especially being asked for recommendations and interacting with them. Regular customers become like good friends, and they then become natural advocates for your business. And this is just priceless. The enjoyment of a busy cafe and the buzz it creates is fantastic. More importantly, it's extremely good for the bottom line. Now, hospitality businesses, unlike many others, can constantly evolve and adapt. New menus, new services, changing the opening hours and special events. Now, what other industry allows you to drive through such new initiatives quickly and easily and then reap the immediate financial rewards? Cafe ownership can also be highly addictive, and many owners will testify to being serial cafe owners, building up and selling various cafes, obviously for a profit, capital gains. Let us not also forget that no other business provides you, the owner, with great food and coffee every day. If you're passionate about food, and you invariably will be if you want to own a cafe, then owning your own cafe can seem like a small slice of heaven. But be aware that slice of heaven can also be hard and sometimes feel more like, maybe a slice of hell. There is no denying the potentially long hours, especially if you're open 7 days a week and maybe even evenings. The challenges when a staff member is off ill, the paperwork that you'll need to do, maintenance, etc., etc. Now you'll be surprised at the amount of times I've heard someone say, I'd love to run a cafe. It looks so easy and it must be so much fun. Sitting there, all the great food, all the coffee you can drink, and talking to customers all day long. Now, if that's your only motivation for owning a cafe, you might want to stop right there and go no further. That is very much a rose-tinted version of hospitality, and it's the wrong vision. A clear, pragmatic, and business-like approach is required for you to truly succeed. Cafes can succeed or fail on the personality of the owner. Now be honest with yourself. Can you talk with enthusiasm to customers day in and day out, even when you're tired and irritable and have other pressing problems? It may seem a simple thing to mention, but it's one of the most major differences between a successful and unsuccessful hospitality business. Now, hospitality cafes, they can burn owners out. Owners can become jaded despite their passion, and as the face of the cafe, the success of that business rests on your shoulders, and the hours can be telling if you don't learn to successfully delegate, and obviously you need to invest in the best staff that you can find. Have you the motivation and drive to keep striving to improve the business, maybe even reinvent it, even when times are hard? Hospitality is highly competitive, as we've said, and you constantly need to adapt to the changing demands of your market. Ask yourself, do you have the strength and focus should circumstances occur and you need to get through the tough times? Now, have you the relevant expertise and skills to make that business succeed? Yes. Now, this is a question that applies to almost every business, but in case of hospitality, out of control wage costs can quickly sink an otherwise successful operation. Many of the cafes that struggle often have inexperienced and unskilled owners who employ too many staff and give themselves, the owners, no specific way to contribute. Be aware of your limitations and don't buy a failing cafe unless you are clear about how you will grow it and change its fortunes. Similarly, don't buy too big a business that you will struggle to manage and could be beyond your expertise. Judge the business and take a balanced approach as to what you want to achieve. Ask as many questions as you can and bring in professionals as required to ensure you get exactly what you are paying for. Once you have taken ownership, the success or failure of the business becomes your responsibility, so ensure you are buying a thriving operation and not a sinking ship. If you've found a specific cafe and are starting to investigate buying it, or a location to start a cafe, this video talks about 5 things to consider when buying or starting a cafe. Falling out of love with your cafe, well, it happens, and when it does, you need to think about carefully planned exit from the business. A good business sales specialist, that would be me, can advise you on how to improve and refine your current business's financials and systems to make it as attractive as possible for sale. In addition, those business brokers have the experience to ensure your exit plan is achievable and provide you with the best possible outcome. We've reviewed just some of the factors you should consider with cafe ownership. The areas identified are not all fiscally based, and deliberately so, as hospitality, unlike many other industries, requires you to look more closely at your own personal motivations and drivers to succeed. Make sure you weigh up the pros and cons carefully to ensure that you pick the right business for you. Hey, thanks again for watching. If you want to know more about business sales, you want tips on successfully improving your business, make sure you don't miss out on new videos and hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please leave me a thumbs up maybe, comment down below. I read and reply to every comment and I'd love to hear from you. So until next time, see you again. I'm off for a coffee.